Power does not disappear when control slips. It remains, often intact, long after obedience has thinned. Britain did not wake one morning to discover it had become weak. It discovered something more destabilizing, that it could issue commands that no longer settled reality. This is not a story about the fall of British power. It is a story about the moment power continued, but without the certainty that it was still decisive. And once that separation appears, authority enters a condition it cannot easily recognize, because nothing visible has been lost. The flags still fly. The fleets still move. The language of command still sounds the same. By the early 20th century, Britain governed territories that stretched across every inhabited continent. India, formerly brought under Crown rule in 1858 after the rebellion of the previous year, became the administrative and symbolic center of imperial authority. London housed the India Office. British viceroys resided in Calcutta, and later, New Delhi. Orders traveled by telegraph cables laid beneath oceans. Steamships shortened voyages that once took months into weeks. The Royal Navy maintained coaling stations at Gibraltar, Aden, and Singapore. Maps in government rooms showed vast regions shaded in imperial red. These were not abstractions. They were jurisdictions, tax systems, military garrisons, and ports where British law applied. Authority expressed itself through repetition. Census forms were printed, tariffs were collected, courts functioned, railways expanded across colonial territory, carrying goods inward and soldiers outward. By 1914, India alone supplied over 1 million troops for imperial defense. These movements did not feel fragile, they felt routine, and routine is the most convincing form of power. The First World War did not begin as a threat to British authority. It began as a demonstration of its reach. Colonial troops mobilized. Resources flowed toward imperial centers. Britain emerged on the victorious side. Its empire expanded into former Ottoman territories under League of Nations mandates. On paper, its jurisdiction had grown. But something had shifted beneath the paperwork. In 1919, in the city of Amritsar, British troops under Brigadier General Reginald Dyer fired into a large civilian gathering inside an enclosed garden. Hundreds were killed. The event did not immediately remove British authority from India. Administrative control remained, taxes were still collected, officials still governed. But authority had been forced to reveal the violence required to sustain its certainty. It had acted decisively, and in doing so, it altered how that decisiveness would be received. Power had not diminished, but its meaning had changed. Silence followed in London before response came. Investigations were held, statements were issued. The structure of rule did not collapse. Yet authority had introduced doubt into its own reflection. It had demonstrated that obedience might require force visible enough to weaken the illusion that obedience was natural. This distinction did not register as loss. It registered as disturbance. In 1931, the Statute of Westminster formalized legislative independence for dominions such as Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. These nations no longer required British parliamentary approval for their laws. Britain had not been defeated in these territories. There had been no expulsion of administrators. Instead, authority had reclassified its own limits. It recognized independence while preserving allegiance to the crown. Power adapted by narrowing its definition of control. The monarch remained head of state. Diplomatic alignment continued. Military coordination persisted. Britain had not lost power in these places. It had ceased to insist on direct command. Authority had shifted from instruction to recognition without surrendering its symbolic center. The change did not feel like retreat. It felt like evolution. In India, pressure accumulated differently. Administrative complexity increased. Political organizations expanded. The Indian National Congress, formed in 1885, grew into a mass movement capable of coordinating resistance across provinces. British officials responded with reforms, concessions, and restrictions. Each adjustment preserved authority while acknowledging its exposure. Control remained operational, but it required more maintenance. During the Second World War, Britain again mobilized India's resources and manpower. Over 2 million Indian soldiers served. The imperial government declared India at war without consulting Indian political leaders. Authority assumed its continuity. It exercised its right to decide. But assumption had begun replacing certainty. In 1947, Britain formally transferred power to independent governments in India and Pakistan. The ceremonies were orderly. Legal authority was handed over through documents and declarations. British officials departed. Yet Britain did not become powerless. Its financial institutions remained central to global trade. Sterling continued functioning as a reserve currency. Its navy still operated across strategic routes. Its political alliances endured. Britain had lost control over India, but it retained the infrastructure of influence that control had built. Authority had withdrawn from administration without withdrawing from relevance. This separation did not announce itself as crisis. It appeared as adjustment. A decade later, in 1956, Britain confronted a different test. Egypt's president, Gamal Abdel Nasser, nationalized the Suez Canal, a waterway Britain had controlled since the 19th century. The canal was not merely a passage. It was a symbol of imperial reach, connecting Britain to Asian territories and trade. Britain responded with military force, coordinating with France and Israel to seize the canal zone. The invasion succeeded tactically. British and Allied forces advanced rapidly. But something else intervened. The United States refused to support the operation. Financial pressure followed. Britain faced the risk of currency collapse if it continued. Authority encountered a boundary it had not defined. Britain withdrew its forces. It had not been defeated on the battlefield. Its military remained intact. Its government remained stable. But its ability to act independently had been constrained by forces outside its command. Control had been interrupted. Power remained, but it had become conditional. The Royal Navy still sailed. Parliament still governed. Britain still possessed nuclear weapons within a few years. Nothing visible resembled collapse. Yet authority had learned that command no longer guaranteed compliance from the world it had shaped. This realization did not dismantle power, it altered its confidence. The British Empire transformed into the Commonwealth, an association of independent nations linked by shared history and voluntary cooperation. Membership did not require obedience, it required recognition. Authority had redefined its perimeter. Britain continued to influence global finance, diplomacy, and security. London remained a financial center. Its intelligence services operated internationally. Its political voice carried weight in alliances such as NATO. Power persisted without requiring territorial command. This persistence created a contradiction authority could not fully resolve. It remained powerful enough to shape events, but not powerful enough to decide them alone. The distinction narrowed its range of action without removing its identity. And authority, accustomed to equating power with control, faced the quiet erosion of its assumptions. There was no ceremony marking this transition, no official declaration that power had become something else. Instead, authority continued speaking in the same language, issuing decisions, participating in negotiations, maintaining symbols of continuity. The crown remained, parliament remained, the military remained. Power had survived, but its environment had changed. Influence replaced instruction. Recognition replaced obedience. Presence replaced command. This substitution did not weaken authority in any measurable way. Britain remained one of the world's leading economies. Its cultural, financial, and diplomatic reach extended globally. Yet authority no longer occupied the position it remembered. It still believed itself central, but centrality had become shared. This ambiguity created a condition power could not easily interpret. Because nothing had been taken, and yet something had shifted beyond recovery. Authority could still act, it could still decide, but it could no longer assume that decision would settle the outcome. This uncertainty did not appear in official language. It appeared in hesitation, in consultation, in coordination. Power adjusted its posture without admitting adjustment. It preserved its continuity by redefining its expectations. But beneath this adaptation remained the memory of a time when command had been sufficient. That memory did not disappear. It remained embedded in institutions, ceremonies, and assumptions. Authority carried its past forward even as its present diverged. And in that divergence, power entered a condition it could neither reverse nor fully accept. It had not fallen. It had not been overthrown. It had not lost the capacity to shape events. It had only lost the certainty that shaping was the same as deciding. The distinction lingered, unresolved. Subscribe to Timeless Questions for more thoughtful journeys into the ideas and forces that shape civilizations and continue to shape us.